Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win. We're back for another edition of Monster Hunter Rise. Today on the channel, we are going to be playing a 2.0 Endgame light bowgun set. We're going to be using Sinister Shadow Bolt, which is the Magnamalo light bowgun. As you can see, it gives you a level 2 gem slot. Also, with the Rampage slot, we're able to get access to Cluster Effect, which will be very handy for what we're trying to do. As you can see for the ammo, it gives you a lot of different ammos. Particularly, we're going to be focusing on using spread ammo, shrapnel ammo, and more importantly, sticky ammo with cluster bombs. That way we can kind of abuse explosions all around. Slicing is also really deceptively good in this particular gen, so keep that in mind. We're going to be using Utsushi's Mask HS. That way we can get Spare Shot level 2, which is really what we want to be focusing on for that particular piece. We're also going to be using Magnamalo, which will give us Spread Up level 1, as well as reload speed and ballistics with the gem slot. S-studded gloves, we're going to get spread up and normal up. We don't really care about normal up, but spread up in particular. Raka coil gives us spread up as well as a slot for ballistics, which we're going to be doing. Rafflos greaves, that way we can get some attack boost as well. For the pedalins, you can use whatever you want. I prefer demon pedalins free, that way I can get a little bit more attack. I don't need as much stamina since I'm not guarding. For the talisman, I have a recoil down level 2 as well as a spare shot level 1. Preferably what you would want is a level 2 slot with spare shot level 2 there. That way you can get maximum out of that. But you kind of got to work with whatever talismans that you got, guys. So keep that in mind. I'm still kind of working on more talisman melding. It's kind of RNG. Sometimes you get good things out of it. Sometimes you don't. As everybody who knows who follows this channel, we cover more than just Monster Hunter Rise. So I'm not on this game 24/7. I'm on it enough that I'm able to make these endgame builds, but obviously not melding talismans for like 24-hour periods. Need to sleep and eat, guys. You know that. Alright, so for the purpose of this showcase, we will be fighting a Great Uzuchi. That way I can show you how it basically fares and how hard it hits against a low-level HR monster. Then we are going to be fighting a flying monster. Obviously, I'll probably pick a Raffian maybe in that particular retrospect. That way I can show you how it fares with it. Same strategy as with the heavy bowgun for the Magnamalo. You're pretty much going to be focusing on clusters and sticky to do most of your damage and just taking advantage of the monster falling down via those things. Okay, so we gotta get its attention first. I'm going to be firing some shrapnel animals. As you know, we have precise maxed out. What really helps with this particular set is that we get spare shot to go off 20% of the time, which will allow us to fire off a lot of sticky ammos and get extra sticky ammos, which is very important. So with the sticky ammos, if you're not familiar with how that works, you want to aim for the head. Usually for smaller monsters, it'll take about 3 hits that explode for it to knock it down. From there, you're going to switch to your cluster bombs, start firing off as many cluster bombs as possible. This is all doing a lot of damage here because we are within range. Then, when the monster gets up, you kind of want to choose between using your shrapnels and your spreads. It depends on the monster. If it's very fast, then you can't get too close to it because of little monsters. Case in one here, use shrapnel. I'll switch to spread. Spread is like a shotgun, so think if you're using a shotgun in real life, you would have to probably stand very, very close to the edge. Now, one of the benefits of using this over the heavy bowgun version of the Magnamalo gun is the fact that you have more mobility with the light bowgun. However, one of the things that happens with this mobility is you don't have as much range as the heavy bowgun. The heavy bowgun gives you a little bit more range, so you could stand a little further back, and you also have the ability to guard. Okay, so we're going to go back to using the cluster, or sticky ammos, so that we can knock it down. Like I said, usually it takes about 3 explosions. The little monster's got on the way there, which is kind of unfortunate. You always want to fire stickies at the head. Obviously, monsters will not stay very still unless they're small moving ones, so you'll have to kind of make do. One of the good things particular about this set is the fact that because we have spare shots, you can kind of fire your stickies a bit more recklessly than you would normally. Also, as you see there, it went off 3 times on screen. I'm able to get a lot more out of my ammo. In fact, it's kind of more forgiving when I waste ammo even. Okay, so we're switching to spread because the monster's down. When the monster's down, you have a choice between using clusters or as your spread. My recommendation, just go straight with spreads to the face. As you see, spread has a very high potential of knocking down the monster as well. So we're going to constantly continue to shoot spread after spread right in its face. As you see there, you're doing a lot of damage just by staying within range here. I'm going to fire off the last of my stickies. I know this is going to come up in the comments because somebody recommended it for the heavy bowgun. If you have slots available and you can fit in ammo up, do that, because ammo up just gives you more natural ammo, which will be usually for sticky ammo free, where you can get maybe 2 or 3 clips without having to reload. I generally don't have to worry about it too much, though. I'm kind of used to mitigating. As you can see, the monster's almost dead already. This is in conjunction with the fact that all the explosions are going off, as well as that we are targeting the critical spots. Critical spots for the monster, obviously, usually it's the head. Sometimes it could be the tail. Sometimes it's the wing. Particularly, always the most weakest spot on a monster, obviously, is going to be the face. So you want to put most of your focus and all your efforts on hitting the face. Rule of thumb, if you're using damage modifiers, if you're seeing yellow, you're hitting in a nice, good, sweet spot. If you're seeing gray numbers, you're doing it wrong. So that means you have to kind of move your distance around. As you saw, we took down the gray Zuchi fairly well. If those little monsters get in the way of the sticky ammos that went off there, as you saw, 3 of them kind of got in the way, we probably would have been able to shave off in about another 30 seconds of the clear time to it. That was kind of unfortunate, but that's kind of one of the things. Eventually, you kind of get the hang of using sticky ammos, particularly with whatever gun that you're using. The reason for that is just every monster's kind of got amount of sticky it takes before it will knock down. Smaller monsters, general rule of thumb, my recommendation at least, is that usually fire off about 3 sticky ammos. So, like, if it's a Lagambi or an Azuchi or a Wagi or a Royal Ludoff, things like that, things of that nature, that particular size, usually about 3 or 4 stickies that go off and all explode, usually will knock the monster down. If it is a larger monster, let's say like a Raffian or an Elder Dragon in particular, it might take you somewhere between 4 to 5, maybe even 6. So as you start practicing with the gun and using it and checking your range and everything, you'll start to kind of see how long it's going to take to knock a monster down. Subsequently, there is something you could do to actually get an even faster knockdown. As you saw, that was a 4-minute 25-second clear time, so even with the monster getting away, that's super fast. In a group of 4, you probably get that guy done maybe about 1 minute and 15 seconds flat. And that's in a group with everybody kind of maxed out geared and knowing what they're doing. All right, for the purpose of this showcase, we're fighting the Raffian. That way I can show you how this gun fares against the more flying, more mobile monsters, because it's very easy to do it against a slower moving target, but against a faster moving target that goes up in the air, how well does it fare? Well, we're about to answer that question. As for things that you could do to kind of improve the knockdown of sticky, if you wanted to, and you had the gems or you had a good talisman, you could put KO in here, because KO says that it has a higher chance of stunning a monster, and stunning kind of falls into knockdown damage now in these particular games. You can also eat for Slugger as a skill in the food skills, the Dongo skills as they call them. You could eat for Slugger. Recommendation, usually when you're eating for food skills, you want to go for Temper, maybe Slugger, and then you would want to either probably eat for Marksman, which powers up your bullets. Those 3 in conjunction usually will do the maximum amount of damage for you. Subsequently, if you can't really handle taking too many hits, what you could do is you could just go Temper, Marksman, and then go like Defender High, or Moxie, or Weakener if you want to weaken the monster. Same strategy as before with the flying monster. The only difference here is we're going to be a bit more cautious with our sticky ammo, because if we miss a shot, we can get punished for it. So, alright, timing this right. As you see there, we missed a sticky ammo because she's a bit more mobile. Usually wait before you fire the stickies. That's why you see I'm going to be switching between my shrapnel. Now I'm going to switch over to sticky, because when she does the fireball, she leaves her face exposed. Alright. Those might go off where they need to, but we're going to fire 3 more. Well, I got lucky there. Okay, switch to Cluster Bomb since it's down. We're going to pair it close to the face here. Keep firing these off. Keep in mind you don't want to get too aggressive firing these cluster shots, because the monsters generally will get up after about 4 or 5 roars. This is something you'll learn in time as you start playing more and more with your weapon and just learning certain things of the monster. Alright, so same strategy as before. I did a couple of slicing shots because that kind of counts now. Sort of like a spread. And we have visitors in this hunt, as you can see. There's a triple turf war going on. So in this situation, we're not going to waste our stickies because we wouldn't be able to get the maximum damage out. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand back. We're going to fire the shrapnel, because shrapnel gives us some goody pretty good far range, then we'll play the mountain game. Mountain games are pretty good, not so much for clear times, but the fact that it does more damage to the monster and it gives you more shiny drops. Also, there is a higher potential that you're going to get a rare shiny drop when you do the mountain game. This is actually affected by whether you ate for Calculator or Miracle Worker. In fact, if you eat for Miracle Worker and you do that, you have a higher chance of getting a gem or a plate in particular for Raffian or rare items depending on what is for the monster. So it's usually in your benefit to do the minigame unless you're trying to do a speedrun. If you're trying to do speedrun or you're looking for a speedrun, don't look to this channel for that. That's not the purpose of this channel. We are not a speedrun channel. We are showing you guides as to how to build the armor. For those of you who are normal, regular Monster Hunter players or newer Monster Hunter players that are trying to figure out what is a good build for the weapon. That's the purpose of all the guides that we do on the channel. They're not for you to speedrun. Speedrun is a very unique art that is done through not only manipulating the game in certain ways, but also just recording footage after footage after footage for days on end for the perfect scenario to happen. It's not something that everybody can do. Common misconception is that if you are not clearing things in like 2 minutes like a speedrunner, you're not doing it right. No. Most of the clear times that you see on here for all these monsters that I'm doing in the guides are the normal average clear times that a regular person playing the game naturally without studying frame data and constantly hitting weak spots is going to pull off. And that's pretty much those who are following even the general rule from hanging ahead and everything of the sort. So keep that in mind. So we did the minigame. The monster retreated. I would say based on the damage that we've done, the Raffian's probably about halfway to death. I went the wrong way, though. Good job, me. Okay, so we got to go back this way because she went down into the little sub-middle section there, you see. That's one good thing about Monster Hunter Rise is you don't have to use the paintballs. Now, like I said, you could gem for KO Slugger. My recommendation, though, max out your ballistics, max out your reload speed because you don't want to really deal with recoil. Obviously, fix deviation because there is a chance that when you're firing the gun, it has a bit of a deviation where it will move off in a certain way, so why not correct those things? Those are the ones I like to do. You can also use ammo up. It depends if you have, again, talismans. Everything is really dependent on whether you get a good level 2 talisman with 2 level 2 slots. So you might be at the mercy of RNG. Same strategy as before. We're going to use the sticky ammo on the face. If you miss a shot, don't worry, because thanks to spare shot, you will be able to get a little bit more ammo out. It's down. We're going to fire off the last 2 cluster bombs. From there, we are going to switch it up here. I'm waiting for the last one to fire. I'm going to fire off 3 stickies because it's about to get up. So by the time it stands up, and we got some spare shots off, we will be able to take advantage of that. All right, we stick it to head. We ran out of sticky ammo. This is where we're going to switch to shrapnel based on the distance that we are at. This is where we could do maximum distance for that. Keep in mind that shrapnel ammo is powered up. It's counted as spread ammo, so don't sweat it. The only difference really with spread is that you have a higher potential of KOing, and you're going to do like 21 hits instead of 11. But you have to obviously be in a position where it's worth trying to go for spread. All right, I think I could spread this now. All right, spread. Right in front of the face, as you see. It stuns the monster a lot when you use spread ammo. And thanks to spare shot, you have a deceptively good amount of clips even on your spread that you don't have to worry about even trying to go for your spread level 1 ammo and whatnot. All right, so she's kind of peeved at us. So we're going to switch to shrapnel again, just to get some free damage. And then when I see her switch like there, I could switch to spread if I want to, but I'm going to just keep her pinned down. All right. Let's dodge out of the way. Switch to spread, level 3. She looks like to be targeting our partners, so we can't get a good shot off here. Let's switch to pierce ammo. I'm going to stand back here at a distance. Pierce ammo. As you see, we'll do 14. We don't power up pierce too much, but this will give us a good long-range bullet for now. All right, switching now. We're going to go to slicing. Slicing is really good. It kind of works very similar to spread. As you see, it's going to implode. Depending on the spots that you hit with, you can hit for 26, as you see. So it's kind of like doing the same type of damage that spread is when you're doing it on the face. Slicing ammo is good for cutting tails. It also is a little bit decent at breaking parts depending on the type of parts that you have. So we're just going to kind of unload our slicing clips at the moment, because she's just moving around way too much for us to keep her pinned down. All right, switch to spread. Her face is available. Let's dodge out of the fireballs. Well, she only fired once, so she's getting very tired. All right. You see the blue icon on the top right corner? That means that she's close to capturing or death. What we're going to do here is we're just going to constantly fire some spreads on the face, trying to get her from flying away. She might fly away. If she flies away, it's fine, because what we'll do is we'll probably use some slicing ammos on her face when she's sleeping, and then we'll be able to take care of the Raffian that way. So that's one of the things, basically. So this is, for all intents and purposes, what you generally want to be doing with the Magnamalo light bow gun. You use sticky ammo to secure a KO via stun. Then you can either, depending on where you fall, fire off some clusters or spread ammo targeting the face, and you will do a significant amount of damage. When the monster's too far away but you need to get some bullets off, use your shrapnel ammo, as it does a lot of damage despite the fact that it doesn't look like what the damage indicators, because that damage racks up, and it's really good at just covering a wide area. And the one thing about this particular set that's good is, thanks to Spare Shot, we are able to get extra ammo and a lot more out of our clips and extra bullets. All right, so we knock down the monster again with spread and fire one shot off in the space. And as you see there, we took care of the Raffian with general ease. That was super fast, actually. So usually when you're playing this in a group of 4, let's say it's you and 3 other gunners, you're probably going to be able to clear the monster within 4 to 3 minutes. If it's Elder Dragon, probably would take maybe sub 5. It depends, again, on everybody in the room's skill level, type of ammo that they're using, if they're gunning, type of weapons, armor, skills. If everybody's, like, truly optimized and they know what spots to hit and target, these guys should have no problem. This set is a bit more versatile to use, in my personal opinion, than the light bowgun Pierce set. Pierce is good, but it's specifically niche in the fact that you have to target specific spots, and you have to be in with specific range, as opposed to this that gives you more options and a bit more versatile of a playstyle, because you have access to slicing, you can spread for securing KOs, you have access to explosions via clusters and sticky bombs, stuff that, in particular, the Narkuga weapon doesn't have. So what you lack in affinity, you make up with in explosions, and obviously you can then modify it depending on your gems with your artillery, or however skills you see fit. Keep in mind, like with every guide that I make, this is just a personal recommendation and suggestion. You don't have to follow the set exactly to the T. So feel free to give your own spin on it. Leave your particular build in the comments if you have one that you think I should take a look at in particular. 9-minute clear time, not bad. Could be a little bit faster if we got a bit more stickies off and had a little bit extra spare shots from the clusters. But still, in a group of 4, you will do pretty fine. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's Monster Rise video. I will see you next time. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe.